Witajcie kontrowicze, witam was Wojtek i witam was Kamil, który stoi jako operator. Dzisiaj przeprowadzimy pierwszy tak naprawdę wywiad w języku angielskim z gwiazdą, tego słowa mogę użyć, z prawdziwą gwiazdą, światową gwiazdą, czyli z Jesse Cookiem. Zapraszam was serdecznie. Hello Jesse, first question to you, how the heck a person from Canada got interested in guitar flamenco music? I thought that in Canada this kind of music isn't popular.
Well, it's not tremendously popular in Canada in general, but I was born in France, and when I was a kid, my parents had Manitas de Plata's records. He's a French flamenco artist, and as a young kid, I really loved them, and I got hooked on this sound. But in Canada, there's quite a large flamenco community now. So because I was interested in pursuing that, there were lots of people there who I could work with and learn from. But now the music I make is not really flamenco. I mean, there are elements of flamenco in it, but it's really a hybrid of all sorts of different sounds from different parts of the world. There's elements of Brazilian percussion, samba, and Olodum rhythms. There's elements of Arabic music. There's elements of jazz. There's elements of pop. It's all thrown in there. On this tour, our violinist Chris Church has learned how to play the Armenian duduk. Yeah, so it's we try to mix it up. Yeah.
Do you have elements of blues?
It's funny. You know what? I think there's one song that we did called "I Put a Spell on You," which I think probably has elements of blues in it. But generally, I don't play blues scale, which is really has that sound of blues in it. But
I have one question about Nicolas Reyes because I know that you know him, and I have one question. Did he interest you in this kind of music when you played with him?
Well, when I was a kid, my dad moved to Arles, and actually when I was a teenager he retired to Arles, and he ended up being neighbors with Nicolas Reyes, and I met him in the street a few times, and one night we jammed, and sometimes I've seen it written as if he and I were I studied under him or something. No, he was at that time he was part of the Gypsy Kings, but the Gypsy Kings weren't world famous yet. They were just a local band in Arles. And but for me, it was a fantastic night. The night that I played with those guys up on the roof was really, something that a Canadian kid would never ever get to see normally. So I've always considered myself very fortunate that I ended up there at that moment.
That night, that was the beginning of your career?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, beginning of my career was either when I played my first gig, or maybe it was when I was 6 and I started guitar lessons. Who knows? It was just, I think it was just one of many steps that brought me from a little 6-year-old to here. I play the guitar. I don't sing, and yet I can tour all over the world and play. I consider myself incredibly fortunate. But yeah, it's been really fun.
Do you have any plans on the nearest future, next album? Now you have 8 albums.
Well, this one just came out, so I'm not even thinking about the next one. In fact, I'm not sure if it's come out in Europe yet. Is it out today? It may be out in a few days. But we just finished the new album, the Blue Guitar Sessions, and then I'll be going to. We're doing this tour, so we'll be performing in Poland and Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and then after that we go back tour Canada, and then
I have a question. Why Adele? Why Adele inspired you in creating this album?
I think Adele. I mean, much has been made of Adele. I did mention that I was really inspired by that album, Adele 21. And a lot of it has been made of that, and I think it's because she's so popular. People like to talk about it. For me, what I loved about that album was that she is. It's a pop record, and yet a lot of the songs are just piano and voice. You don't normally hear that, especially nowadays. You hear, most of the music on the radio is a computer with a drum machine and synthesizers and voice, and the voice is auto-tuned, and everything is completely controlled. So to hear an album where there's all that space and piano and voice, and then maybe a little strings or something, but it's very sparse, and I really loved it.
here in the States, where we have a PBS special on right now, a TV show that's running all over the States. So
I think Adele. I mean, much has been made of Adele. You know, I did mention that I I was really inspired by that album, Adele 21. You know what? I haven't met her. I think you do, but she's performing with us on stage. I haven't met.
That's nothing from this world.